Got one Eagle Rare left. That is wildly dark. Pancake and bacon whiskey. Plethora of Buffalo Trace. Now you're trying to get me because that's a local wood. Appalachian oak. Yep, there's the plans. Welcome to the Bourbon Retriever. My name is Chris, and we are at the beautiful Outer Banks in North Carolina. I'm here on vacation. This is a popular vacation spot during the summertime, so I thought it'd be a good place to show you the type of bourbon that you can find when you come here. Now, North Carolina is an ABC state, so these are all run by the government. They are run by the counties, though, so each county is a little different. Here in Dare County, which is Outer Banks, they do their drops on Tuesdays. Today is a Tuesday. However, it is closer to noon. I didn't come here at open because I was at the beach. It wasn't worth it to me personally to be waiting outside the liquor store to do the hunt today. I'd rather just be enjoying my vacation. But let's go inside and see if they still have anything and potentially what maybe that I missed. Here's the bourbon section. Got one Eagle Rare left. It looks like 750. And we got some Bookers here. Bookers 2501. Yes, the MSRP price. This is, ABC states, they're going to be at MSRP price. It looks like I missed here Bland's. Yep, missed Bland's. I got a couple boxes. Yep, there's the Bland's. Oh well, can't win them all. What else do we have here? We got very old Burton, and then just a plethora of Buffalo Trace. As much Buffalo Trace as a person wants. I personally going to leave those there. I don't need another Eagle Rare or Buffalo Trace, but there's probably someone on vacation who would love that bottle, so I'm going to leave it there for them. Got a bunch of shelf Jim Beam, Evan Williams product. Nothing that's really catching my eye on this section. Over here, we got some Woodford's Bourbon Cream. Great cocktail. If you're trying to do some Irish cream, coffee or something, perfect bottle. Be doing that type of stuff. And this is a hitter here. Russell's Reserve Single Barrel. These have become almost impossible to find where I live up in Maryland. I don't know why. I don't know why these are so hard to find. They should be easier. But if you see these in your store, definitely buy them. I think they're some of the best whiskey on the market for that $60 price tag. Absolutely amazing. I wish this was easier to get. And if I had a smaller collection, this would be like one of the 10 bottles that would be in my collection. What else we got? We got some Heaven Hill, Bottle and Bond, some Angel Demi stuff. Play-Doh. What's this Bubba's here? Pancake and bacon whiskey? What in the world? Spirit whiskey with natural flavors and caramel colors. This is gonna be passionate. You got natural flavor stuff in there. You got some Bullet Freight Mixer stuff. Old Forester, 1910, 1920. Great double oak. If you haven't tried this, this is definitely a bottle to get if you are a beginner. Great bottle. Forester Sazerac Rye. What else do we have here? 2XO. Forester. What else? Maker's Mark. Don't see any dunks. Some Larceny. Jack Daniels. So far, just a very typical stuff you'd find at an ABC store. Roger Craig. Toasted Barrel. All right, that can be kind of harder to find. It is becoming easier, though, to find in different areas. Even on sale here. Wow, that's cool to see. At ECBB, what barrel proof are we looking at here? A125. Coming in at 118.2, 10 years, 7 months. ECBB 525? Yeah, May. That's one I am looking for because I've heard great things about it. I haven't bought one of these in maybe like 2-3 years now, but that one is supposed to be one of the best ones in a couple years. So it's definitely one I want to try and see does it live up to what the older bottles used to be like. We got some generic Elijah Craig. Buffalo City, what are these? Looks like more flavored stuff. It is Outer Banks though, but with it being flavored and 70 proof, I'm gonna be out on that. End of days. What do we got here? Bourbon whiskey coming in at 46 proof. Made in North Carolina. 68% corn, 10% rye, 22% two-row malted barley. I do not know what that means. Two-row malted barley. I do like the information here. Number 3 char, New American oak, small batch. No age statement on this that I can find. It says distilled and bottled by End of Days in Wilmington, North Carolina. Interesting. It is $65. That is kind of low proof, and without an age statement, it's kind of hard, but it is local. That is nice. We got O&W. What is this? Lockbox. 20-year-old family recipe. Small batch. Hmm. Oh, there we go. Minimum 2 age. 2 years is what we got here. Distilled and bottled by the Old Nick Williams Company, Louisville, North Carolina, but minimum 2 age. So 2 years, that's going to be a pass. We want older age stuff. That's just a little too young for me personally. We got Weldon Mills here. What is this? Barrel proof. That's good. We're on the right track here with barrel proof stuff. Any age statements, or is it local? Let's see here. It is distilled and bottled by Weldon Mills in Weldon, North Carolina. Ooh, only a year old. Come on, guys. Can we get just a little bit older? It is a nice color for 1 year. They must be using small barrels. But it is barrel proof, but being a year, I can't, guys. I can't. Is this another North Carolina Mother's Earth Spirits? 92, 2 years in American Oak. It is from Kinston, North Carolina. Again, 2-year-old product. That's a decent color for 2 years old. That is wildly dark for 2 years. But guys, I just need something a little older. $50. I guess if you want to support local, but I just have a hard time paying money for anything under 5 years old because typically it's very grain forward, and I want to support these local guys if I can. I just need a little older, so kind of to get me over the edge to buy them. It looks like we got one last North Carolina one here. James A.P. Connolly, 105 proof bourbon whiskey. We finally have a good age on this, maybe. Produced and bottled by in Boog, North Carolina. I do not see an age on here, which I think if it was older age, they would tell you, and it's a little clearer, so it makes me think that's probably on the younger side. Now, here's a bottle that people have been telling me to buy, and it is Conviction. This looks like it's a single barrel. We're looking at 52, so 104 proof. That is cool. I do want the double oak, though, because the double oak is the one that they will tell me I need to get. Maybe I'll get the single barrel here, but I would much rather be buying the double oak, because that's, if I'm gonna buy one, might as well get the best thing they put out. But it is a single barrel, so that's cool. Coming in at $47, I think that's probably the best bet of all these North Carolina brands. Yeah, it's distilled, aged, and bottled in Southern Grace Distilleries at Mount Pleasant, North Carolina. Uncut, unfiltered. So far, that is all good things. I wish there was an age statement on there, but given what I've heard, that might be the one to get. Got some Uncle Nearest. Now, this is a bottle I need to buy. I've heard great things about this bottle. On sale for $32 for 100 proof whiskey. That one is supposed to be kind of like a unicorn killer. Got some Four Roses, all the different offerings they have. What else do we have? We got some Dickel, Wild Turkey, a bunch of good products here for mixing. Then your Jack Daniels. Hiding here in the bottom is some Tin Cup. Wish they had the 10-year. The 10-year is fantastic, and it's definitely a bottle that you guys need to be trying to get if you can. It's a 10-year product for like $50, 80 proof, 90 proof, something like that. One of the best low proof whiskeys that you can get. And then I think this might be the last of the bourbon section in this store, but we got some Penelopes here, Travelers, 1792, Green River, White Yellowstone, a bunch of good Knob Creeks here. Knob Creek single barrel. What is this coming at? $60? Yep, that's about right on that. Some Mictors, Woodinville, what else? Pot still, hard fast, don't need that pot still. Chattanooga here. I know that this is becoming easier to get. It used to be hard to get where I live. It just didn't have distribution, but they're now starting to get more and more across the country. I personally have not been buying this stuff because it is a Tennessee high malt. Now, I have been hearing great things, but when it says malt in it, I just have a hard time getting it. Maybe one day, but I'd rather be buying bourbon instead of malt stuff. And then here's a brand that I have not personally heard about. Whiskey Row. Seems pretty gimmicky, to be honest. 88 proof, blend of small batches, distilled in Kentucky and Indiana. Okay, so we got Kentucky and NGP bourbon kind of blended together. Whiskey Row doesn't really have a distillery tied to it. Yeah, I think it's gonna be a pass. I think it's a marketing. So that's a hard pass for me. Almost passed right over the John Jay here. Well, actually, it's not John Jay. It's the Bowman Brothers. But coming from Bowman Distillery, maybe great stuff. If you haven't had any Bowman, definitely get the small batch. The single barrel is the John Jay. It's a green on the front. It's bourbon, even though it has green, I know. Not a rye, But if you see the John Jay, get it. If you can't, try the small batch. It's also really good for like, what, that 35 bucks? Solid. I think I'm personally over these finished casks. Yellowstone here, we got a toasted and a rum. And I personally am just kind of tired of it. I just won't drink bourbon. These finishes, they can be good, but I feel like a lot of times they're just trying to get rid of subpar barrels or just maybe a marketing gimmick. So I am mostly out on finished stuff unless I hear good reviews or something like that. Okay, going along that finished line, I have not heard of these two brands, or one brand, Savage and Cook. But they got two here. One is in a Zinfandel barrel, and then one is in a Cabernet. Again, I think I'm going to be out on these. But if any of you had them in there, supposedly good, just let me know. And then make sure to check these in aisles when you're coming in and out because they do last chance liquors. And we do have a sale here on some Jefferson single barrels. It looks like it was one they did for this area, Cape Hatteras Lighthouse Edition. So this is like an OBX single barrel. Must not be that great if it's still sitting around, but definitely check these in aisles because sometimes they have some good sales. Okay, so that was the Nags Head ABC. They have a couple of these all up and down the Outer Banks. The two though that you want to hit are the Nags Head and then the one we're going to next, which is Kitty Hawk. Those are the two that get fed by trucks on Tuesday mornings. You're going to want to check in around like 10 a.m. You give them a call to see if they got anything on the truck. But sometimes they don't get them out until about noon. So if you're in Outer Banks for the week, Tuesdays are the days to check these liquor stores for allocated bottles. But we're going to go ahead and head over to Kitty Hawk. Now, there are other ABCs in the Outer Banks here, but they get fed from these two stores. Basically, the leftovers get sent to those stores. So if you're looking for allocated bottles, it is basically this and the Kitty Hawk store. Before we head to the next store, if you're enjoying this content, hit that subscribe button. That way you don't miss any time I post a future hunting video. Another thing about these stores in North Carolina is if you are looking for a celebration for a vacation, I recommend you bringing a bottle because since these are state-run stores, you're not likely going to find really high allocated bottles at MSRP. And there are no secondary stores that are going to have those nice bottles at secondary prices. So if you're looking for a super nice bottle, I would recommend you just to bring it with you. Okay, we're going to take one pit stop here before we get to the next liquor store, and it is Brew. This is probably the most iconic place to get alcohol in the Outer Banks. So convenient. You literally just drive through in your car, get yourself some beer, and on your way. I don't know about you guys, but when I'm at the beach, whiskey is a little too hot for me, and I enjoy myself a nice, light, crisp beer. So I'm going to go get myself some here for the beach. Hey, sorry I forgot to record me actually getting the beer. They have actually a wall of beer, probably the biggest beer selection in the Outer Banks. But we got ourselves some 30 a minute Dogfish IPA. This, in my opinion, is some of the best stuff to drink on the beach because it's super light, 4% alcohol, with having an absolute ton of flavor. Also, in a past life, I worked at the Dogfish Head legal department, so a little bit of bias towards this, but had to get this for sentimental reasons. Now, that might be the only alcohol we get on this hunt, but let's go to the next store and see what they got. Okay, we are finally at the Kitty Hawk location. Let's go ahead and see what they have. I imagine it's gonna be a lot of similar stuff. They're run by the same county, but let's go and find out. You got a pretty big bourbon selection here. You got 2 whole rows of bourbon here. Let's see what we got in the front here. Widow Jane, again, Russell's, great bottle. Some 2XO, Penelope, Heaven's Door. Yeah, a lot of the same stuff so far. That's vodka. Let's see here. Travelers. There's our Bubba's, our friend Bubba again with his non-whiskey whiskey. 4 Roses. Anything different than the last store? Jack Daniels. Elijah Craig. So far, okay, I didn't see this at the last store. Wild Turkey Rare Breed, must buy. If you do not have one of these, literally one of the best bourbons in the game. 55 bucks, done, buy it. It's like an 8, 10, 12-year-old blend. Literally, you cannot go wrong with it. Definitely get it if you do not have that. Got some Larcenies, some Knob Creeks here. On the other side, yeah, Pot Still Pass. Sazerac, good mixer. These are underrated. I know it's Buffalo Trace, so there really isn't much underration or underhype when it comes to Buffalo Trace products, but that Sazerac rye, great mixer. One of the best mixers you can get. Nice rye bourbon. You cannot go wrong with it. That is actually my mixer when I make cocktails. Let's see here. This Redwood Empire, this was not the last store. This Lost Monarch, it's a Burr rye, and this is from California. And it's a nice low proof, or what is this, 90 proof? But this is a really good summer pour. I know it's young, it says only 3 years, but don't let that age deceive you. This is a great pour for what, 40 bucks? Yeah, great summer pour. Definitely another one to try if you have not had that one. Let's see here. Some Royal Forester stuff, Jim Beam, our tin cup. Let's see, Willits, barrel. Yeah, let's see here. What's this? Gypsy. Oh, yes, yeah, perfect. I have not heard of this before. Gypsy Tribute Double Barrel Bourbon. 86 proof, aged 4 years. At what? 40 and then 70 bucks? Interesting. I do like that it is double barreled. 8% corn, 10% rye, 10% malted barley. Is this local? Distilled and aged in Tennessee and Kentucky and blended by them. Okay, so this is sourced. This isn't their stuff. So that's another knock on it, but that is kind of a cool bottle with that marbling there. It's interesting. So why is this one 70 bucks? Let's see here. It's a 6 year, so it's older, and it is finished in French oak and Appalachian oak staves. Okay. Now you're trying to get me because that's a local wood, Appalachian oak. Oh, that is really cool. Look at this. Got a little flavor notes in the back. Those different mash bills. 66 corn, 30% rye, 4% malted barley, distilled and also Kentucky and Indiana. Okay. It is an NDP, so that's like a knock on it. But using Appalachian wood, that is one that I might have to see if I can get a bar pour. I don't know if I can justify buying a whole bottle, but I think that's when I'll look for a bar next time to see if it's worth springing and getting a full bottle of. Some Angel's Envy, Bullets. I've heard good things about this Bullet 10. I personally have not had it, but getting a $50 price tag on a 10-year age-dated product, that's kind of hard to beat. Then we got a bunch of our Jefferson's Ocean. I don't see the cast strength. That is the one that people are going a little crazy for. Everyone's trying to hunt it. But they have a couple of the other Jefferson stuff here, some Woodford. And then this looks like a lot of the North Carolina stuff we saw earlier. We got End of Days, Buffalo City, Weldon. We saw Weldon, OWN or ONW, Conviction. Is this a different Conviction? It's the same single barrel that we saw earlier, so I think I'm going to pass on it. I wish they had the double oak because that one I've heard great things about. And then it looks like they have a couple of their allocated stuff here at the front of the store. We got the Bookers. This is batch 2501. Larceny 125, ECVP 125. I've not heard of this. Yeah. Gay Estate Series Virgin 2. It looks like, oh, it's a rum, that's why. But $400, that's going to be out of me. And they got two picks here. I did not see these other stores. They got an Old Forester pick. Nags Head exclusive. H7. Wow. That is some great stats. 7th tier. 90 bucks. What's the color on this thing? It's decent, man. 7th floor though. That's a really good stats. If you don't have one, that might be one to get. I already have like 4 at home, so I can't buy another. And then Woodford Double Oak. Those are also really good. These store picks can be absolutely phenomenal. Tastes like s'mores. That is a really tempting bottle. If you're here at the beach, that is one definitely to consider. My only concern with these is they aren't really single barrels. They're batch products, and there'll be about 5 stores that get the same single barrel. So they do kind of spread them out, so it's not stores around you, but it's not necessarily a single barrel. And then here's some Whistle Pigs. I did not see at the other store. Personally, not the biggest fan of Whistle Pig, but they have a bunch of them here, the 6, the 10, yeah, 12. Yeah, it's just not my cup of tea. You got some Michters, Coopers, stuff we saw earlier. Nothing different there. So overall, I think that's probably about typical what you're going to find here in the Outer Banks when you come. A couple nice bottles, especially if you show up here on Tuesdays, that's the drop day. You're more likely to find some allocated bottles like that Eagle Rare and Buffalo Trace. But it is very standard selection. You got a lot of your shelf stable products, a couple of local products that were cool to see at North Carolina. I just wish they were a little older. Then I would consider actually buying them. But overall, decent selection for beach town, resort town. But I hope you guys found that helpful. If you did, hit the subscribe button. That way you don't miss any future videos. And check out this video here before you out. Until next time. Cheers.